Hello everyone, I'm Vikramaditya here. I'm a software architect and this is the part 1 of the email etiquette. This is a must for all professionals irrespective of whether they are into software or into any other profession. If you are dealing with the email communications, it's a must for you to go through this, and there are very simple concepts that I'm telling you which are mandatory for all of us to know, and I'll be going to make more such sessions in the future. So first and foremost is before starting, I would like to tell you that email can make or break your career. So it's very true. It might look like exaggeration, but it's pretty true that there are people who have lost their job because of one email that they have sent across, and there are some people who actually gain promotion with the right kind of email. So I'm just putting across a example wherein a person, a employee replied to all to an email sent by CEO. In most of the companies, when a CEO sends an email to everyone, all will be there in the two address, in the two email. So in that, the person simply replied to all. So in some companies and organizations, the CEO's mail will be given to the entire organization. So when they say entire organization, then all the entire organization, in the sense like every employee will be getting that mail. When you say reply all, the reply goes to all the employees in the company. So he has inappropriately addressed the CEO on a particular mail which went across to all the employees, and it was the next day he was out of his job. And there was a situation where an employee replied to a customer at a critical situation and a critical minute with a solution. So it was it saved a lot of revenue for the customer at that particular time, and they highly appreciated the response at that timely minute, and he was immediately promoted to a next level. So just one email can change your career. So you have to be very, very careful about the email, and we all have to know this because we are not trained trained how to send an email in our schooling or in our college. So this is something which we have to learn as a professional, and we have to deal with it across our entire career. So we'll go ahead and look at some basic important things here, and then we'll come across other things in the next coming sessions. So before sending an email, you have to make sure whom you are sending it to, and to address, we all know if we are sending it to, we basically have a habit of sending some personal emails wherein we put in the to, we add all the email IDs of the recipients, like your friends or relatives or something like that. But here in a professional email, we need to make sure whom you're adding in the to address, and the CC, BCC and RR. That's a read receipt. So we need to first understand what are they. To, you already know that. CC stands for carbon copy, BCC stands for blind carbon copy, and RR stands for read receipt. So these are the things that we have. So if you are making a carbon copy, it means that they are supposed to receive the email, but they are not the respondents. They are not the supposed respondents. For example, you are a team lead and you are addressing all your teammates, but here you have to also make a copy of it to your manager, your reporting manager. Then you keep your reporting manager in the carbon copy so that he gets an update of what you are doing in the organization, in the team. And then you have someone called BCC. BCC is someone who's senior project manager or assistant vice president or vice president of a company, or an architect who has to just have an information that you have sent across some important communication to your team, but they are not they need not be in the reply of your team. Let's say because anyone whom you add in the carbon copy might get the reply as well if they click on reply all. But if you keep anyone in BCC, they'll not be getting the replies again back to it. So let's say you are assistant vice president of a company, and you are sending across the email to say 100 managers, but you also want to make sure you communicate the same thing to vice president. You have sent a email to 100 managers. Then you have to keep them in BCC so that they'll get information that you have sent across the mail, but they need not get the reply back. So it's extremely important with whom you add into CC and BCC. Read receipt is only when it's mandatory for us to know whether they have opened and read the mail. So sometimes in some cases, if you are not getting an email, or if it's a very important communication that you have to make sure that the other participant has read it, so in that case only you have to take that read receipt, and you have to use it very cautiously, not for every email. So read receipts mostly are kept in extreme cases. Certain cases, like you are a team lead and you have sent a mail to your teammates, and you want to make sure that they have seen it and what time they have seen it and whether they have responded to it or not. So in that case you can keep a read receipt. It's avoided whenever you're sending it to you are reporting a manager. For example, you are sending email to your manager. It's not a good manner to keep a read receipt for that, something like that. So as we discussed, two expected respondents, wherein your responses, you are expecting response from them for the mail that you are sending across, and anyone whom you keep in the CC are just for the information. Just you are giving the information and keeping them in the loop, so that they can monitor what is happening in the mails. And then we have BCC, to avoid in replies. So you just want them to know that you have sent a mail, but you don't want them to receive again the reply mails, because that might create a chaos to that particular respondent. Now read receipt only when it's mandatory. Subject line should be very clear, simple, informative, and professional. So you should not give in subject line something like, hey, how are you, something like that. So you need to give a specific subject line by which people can understand, or the recipients can understand what might be there in the email. So it should give a clear summary of what is there in the email. For example, meeting postponed to 5 p.m. So this is something which gives a clear picture of what exactly might be there in the email, and they also get the information. Sometimes even before opening the email, they get the information through the subject, and they should be specific, and it should be up to the mark and very professional. Now, body of the email, the user, we have to have a professional language. So you should never use words like hey, or what's going on, what's up, something like that. So you should avoid that kind of a language which you normally use across in your informal or personal chats or messages or emails. So you should say hello, hi, or dear Ram, dear Shiva. So something like, you have to address them in a very professional manner, and never use shortcuts in your email. So for example, you say, normally in your messages and text messages, you normally write YOU as you, just as you, and most of the people have got used to it. Like, instead of writing you, even in the professional emails, they write it as you. It's a big blunder. Never do that. Okay. So when you're writing a professional email, make sure you write the full word. not the shortcuts. It's considered as very rude actually. So timings, whenever you are mentioning a timing in the email, then you have to make sure that you also mention the time zone. For example, whether referring to the IST, Indian Standard Time, or Eastern Standard Time, or CST, Central Zone Standard Time. So you should tell it in the email very clearly, and end the mail with a very courteous note. So for example, thanks and regards, and then give your name, email ID, and phone number, and if possible your location. If you already have added your signature, never do it again. So make sure that your signature is not twice. I've seen many mails in which already the by default signature is there, and again they write their name again. So repetition of it should be avoided. And avoid unnecessary attachments. Whenever somebody for a higher level receives some mail in which we have 40 attachments of say somewhere around 20 GB, it gives a extremely bad opinion on you, and they remember you for a long time in all bad reasons. It goes in a very wrong way. So never ever do attachments unnecessarily, and make sure if you are doing an attachments, and if it is very mandatory, take the approval of the other person, whether they want to receive it through mail, or they want it to be shared through some drive or some shared folders or something like that, and then only you send it across. So it's extremely you have to be doing it extremely carefully whenever you are doing attachments, especially when the attachments are of huge size. So reply to email, as I've already discussed in the beginning of this session, that I've seen someone sending a reply all to a mail which they have received which he has received from a CEO. So reply all is something which we need to add very carefully. You have to make sure all the recipients are needed to receive that email. If you're 100% sure about it, only then you click on reply all. Otherwise you can simply say reply, because for example you are a teammate, you are a team player, and your team leader has sent across a mail for 40 team members, and now all the other team members need not receive your reply. They don't need it, only your team lead needs it. Just click on reply. Reply all will send across again your communication to all the other 39 members of the team, which is not required at all, and it gives a very bad opinion on you for that other recipients. So either creating a good image of you in the organization or a bad image of you is all dependent on your email and your email etiquette. It's extremely important to follow a right kind of email etiquette for in a long run to have a better career, and also a better opinion of people on you in the organization. So I'll come back with a few more email etiquettes in part 2 of the email etiquettes. And meanwhile, if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe at youtube.com/jsoftech, and contact us at training@jsoftech.com if you are looking out for any kind of trainings, and if you're looking out for any kind of jobs, you can contact us at jobs@jsoftech.com. Thank you. Have a great day.